On June 3, 1929, Isidor Fink's lifeless body was discovered in his apartment, with no signs of forced entry or struggle, a chilling discovery that would mark the beginning of a baffling murder case. Isidor Fink was a reclusive man, 68 years old at the time of his death, who lived a solitary life in his apartment. He had few acquaintances and was known to keep to himself, making it difficult for investigators to gather information about his personal life. According to court records, Isidor Fink was a quiet and unassuming individual who worked as a clerk, and his family had limited contact with him. He resided in a modest apartment, where he spent most of his time alone, surrounded by his personal belongings. In the months leading up to his death, Isidor Fink's life seemed to be one of routine and solitude, with no apparent conflicts or disputes that could have led to his murder. As investigators believe, Isidor Fink's daily routine was marked by a sense of predictability, with him spending most of his time at home, occasionally venturing out to run errands or attend to his personal needs. On June 3, 1929, Isidor Fink's body was found by his landlord, who had grown concerned about not seeing him for several days. The landlord, whose name has not been publicly disclosed, entered Isidor Fink's apartment and was met with a grim scene. There were no signs of forced entry or struggle, and the apartment was found to be in a state of disarray, with personal belongings scattered about. At 10:45 a.m. on June 3, 1929, the police were called to the scene, and an investigation into Isidor Fink's murder was launched. The police began by questioning the landlord and other tenants in the building, but no one reported hearing or seeing anything suspicious on the day of the murder. One theory holds that Isidor Fink may have known his killer, as there were no signs of forced entry or struggle, suggesting that he may have let his killer into his apartment voluntarily. As the investigation into Isidor Fink's murder continued, police found a number of physical evidence at the scene, including a piece of torn fabric near the window and a set of fingerprints on the door handle. However, these findings did not lead to any concrete suspects or motives. Witnesses were interviewed, but none reported seeing or hearing anything suspicious on the day of the murder. The police also reviewed Isidor Fink's personal correspondence and financial records, but found no evidence of any disputes or conflicts that could have led to his murder. Investigators believe that Isidor Fink's killer may have been someone he knew, but the lack of any concrete evidence made it difficult to identify a suspect. The case files show that the police considered a number of theories, including the possibility that Isidor Fink's murder was a robbery gone wrong, but none of these theories were ever proven. The forensic findings at the time were limited, but investigators did note that there were no signs of forced entry or struggle, suggesting that Isidor Fink may have let his killer into his apartment voluntarily. The investigation into Isidor Fink's murder continued for several months, but ultimately, the case remained unsolved. Despite the efforts of the police, no one was ever charged or convicted in connection with Isidor Fink's murder. The case files show that the police interviewed a number of suspects, but none were ever formally charged. One suspect, whose name has not been publicly disclosed, was investigated by the police, but there was insufficient evidence to link him to the crime. The family of Isidor Fink has suggested that the killer may have been someone he knew, but this theory has never been proven. The lack of any concrete evidence or leads has made it difficult for investigators to make progress in the case. According to crime library records, the Isidor Fink case remains one of the most baffling unsolved murders of the 20th century. As the years have passed, the case has grown cold, and the chances of solving it seem increasingly remote. The current state of the case is that it remains unsolved, with many questions still unanswered. The family of Isidor Fink continues to seek justice, but the lack of any concrete evidence or leads has made it difficult to make progress. Investigators believe that the key to solving the case may lie in re-examining the evidence and re-interviewing witnesses, but so far, no new developments have been reported. The Isidor Fink case is a reminder that some crimes may never be fully solved, and that the search for justice can be a long and frustrating process. Isidor Fink's murder remains a haunting and intriguing mystery, one that continues to fascinate and frustrate investigators to this day. The memory of Isidor Fink's lifeless body, found in his apartment on that fateful day, continues to haunt those who knew him, a chilling reminder of the brutality and senselessness of his murder.